Texas by far the most well-groomed people that are tasteful.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Texans, we thank you.
That's true, though. I think. I mean, I've been all over.
Yes, all right. I have to start by saying to both of you, first of all, thank you for making yourselves available to us and to the audience, because you don't really need this, either one of you, let's be honest. So thank you both for making yourselves available to us.
Thanks for
It's
appreciating
our pleasure.
that.
John, the last time we talked was during Blowout, and I don't know if you will remember this, but Olivia, you'll appreciate it because you've probably heard John laugh uproariously, but I had never heard John laugh uproariously until I said to him, he was talking about his jet training, and I said, well, now that you have this jet rating, does this qualify you? Could you be an airline captain? And with that, John just went totally bonkers. Do you remember that, John?
Do I? I was probably laughing because I wanted to be one or something.
I always had that fantasy about him, actually, that he'd be up in the cockpit and,
Well,
ladies
no,
and gentlemen.
but I can understand that question because of training in American Airlines, you know, you associate that with. I mean, it's a smaller jet, American Airlines, and I did actually train in a 747 for about an hour in the simulator there, so it's not that out of the question. I really don't know why I laughed.
Well,
Come
I
think of
asked
it.
you, I said to you, John, why are you laughing so uproariously?
What did I say?
And you said, I don't think the airlines wants a high school dropout for
Now
a captain.
that's why I laughed. Not that it wasn't fun. That's true.
Anyway, we're here now to talk with both of you about Two of a Kind, your new film that's coming out. A non-musical. And since you're such a musical person, Olivia, and John too, but I'll start with you, why did you want to do a non-musical?
Actually, we would have been open to do a musical had it been the right script, but we wanted to work together and have done for the last 5 or 6 years, 6 now, isn't it, since Greece. And about 3 projects we discussed. One of them was a musical and 2 weren't, and this was the next script that seemed to suit what we were looking for, which was a light entertainment movie, a comedy, and the fact that it didn't have music, we seemed to feel wasn't the important thing. The important thing was that we work together and that we work well together, whether it's musically or not. Well, we'll know in a couple of weeks.
John, what has somebody else made those scripts that you all turned down, or somebody else?
Well, one was a remake of Stairway to Heaven, which was, you know, a good idea, but it didn't seem like a good enough script at the time. The other was this Neil Simon's playing our song, which didn't quite appeal to us at the time. And then there's one I developed personally, which didn't pan out. And then there was a 4th, and I forget what it was. But there were about four legitimate offers that could have been dealt with. And this just seemed like it had all the right things. Like, for instance, the first half of the film we play against our qualities as good people. And it's half fantasy, half reality. And it seemed as entertaining as a musical. And, of course, as a soundtrack, that is very good and also a big hit right now. So it's just got that same kind of entertainment value that I think is so good for us to do. You know.
Of the soundtrack songs, Olivia, which one do you think could be the biggest hit?
Well, we got 3 of them right now.
Yeah, we got 3 hits off the one album already.
Already on the charts?
One of them is Twist of Fate, which is my record, which is number 9 from yesterday. And we did a duet together, that is number 11. 11 or 12 on the adult contemporary charts.
Which will be 9 next week.
Yeah. And then there's a foreigner track on the album that's being played. It's like the number 11
Journey.
most played. Journey, sorry. Excuse me. Scrub that. That's been played a lot, and the album's getting incredible airplay. As for which one, I really don't know. We have a lot of
Because
choices.
right now, 3 of them are headed for top 10. So, and the exciting
There's
thing
more
is
to
that one song Olivia wrote, the one that we did, half wrote, half Olivia, half David Foster.
So that was, I mean,
That's
it's my
really nice.
first hit record that I've had anything to do with the writing of, so that's exciting. But also on the album we have a Chicago track, which is a good song, and Stevie Kipner, Patty Austin, which Quincy Jones produced. So we've got some.
It's the
some
best
other
soundtrack
exciting
the album
ones.
since Urban Cowboy, I think, of a film. You know.
So for your fans, when we say non-musical, they should know that they're going to hear some music. In
Oh, sure.
Yeah, snatches
sure.
of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think is and when you see it, you'll know what I mean. It's a very youth-oriented film, and it's very
Well, I look forward to
Entertaining.
seeing it. Okay, I'm going to play a little game with you folks. And it's just called Fill in the Blanks. Real easy, real easy.
Playboy centerfolds. What's your favorite?
All right.
Turn-offs, turn-ons.
Okay, Olivia, the best thing about being famous is?
Oh, freedom. That's the first word I can think of.
And the worst thing about being famous is?
Lack of freedom.
Yeah, you get both.
You get both ends of the spectrum. You know,
All right. The biggest high of my career has been?
oh. You want to answer that one? You still on
No,
me?
it's yours. Playmate
Oh,
centerfold.
it's my
question.
bit. Biggest high. Oh, heck, I have them all the time. I keep getting new ones. I couldn't name one.
All right.
One particular one.
The biggest low of my career, or the lowest moment of my career has been?
Probably when I was in England, and I was in a group that they had big hopes for, and we made a movie and we made an album, and the movie opened and closed in about 3 days, and then about a week later they said that it was all over, the group was finished. That was probably one of the most difficult times.
Okay. John, let's have you fill in the blank. The biggest high of my career has been?
The idea that there continues to be such highs. I mean, the idea that every year there's a new high from my career floors me. I mean, the idea that it's not,
What's happening?
it's been 8 years and every year something exciting happens to me.
The lowest moment.
The year that I was under contract bound to a studio and I couldn't get back to work. I felt so frustrated, like I was in jail or something. That was the lowest. I just felt, like, oh, I got it. And I ran off and did a play because I had to do something creative. That was my biggest low.
Okay. My best performance to date has been?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I have to answer it in 5 parts, okay? I'm sorry, but there's just no one answer to it. The one I had the most fun with and enjoyed was Urban Cowboy. As an artist, I enjoyed doing that. The one I enjoy watching the most is Staying Alive. The one I enjoy, where I thought had the most poignant work was Saturday Night Fever. And the one I was sort of so proud to do was Grease, because I had done the play of it, and I felt like it was a real accomplishment to get the movie. And in this movie, it was hooking back up with Olivia. That was so much fun. So it's really 5 or 6 part question. I don't even think if I had to take one in a time capsule, I could do it.
All right.
Although I do get a lot of pleasure watching Staying Alive. I like that.
My worst performance.
Don't tell her.
There's probably 1 or 2 cotters I could have picked out where I would have said, oh, goodness, because of the way they cut it, or I only had 1 or 2 lines the whole show, and I waited to say them, and when I said them, it just, probably somewhere in there. Oh, no, I have one. I did an off-Broadway show once where it was just one performance. I was awful, and I can't tell you the reasons why, and everyone agreed. It's so subjective.
You can see
I
it
can
now.
see
He's
it, like,
twitching.
and I had a big agent in the audience, and they were watching. It was a big news around town. Go see Travolta in this off-Broadway show. It was a Martin Duberman play, and I was just off that night, and it was horrendous. I'll tell you about it. What really happened one time.
Were you, had you had, a little vino or something before you went on? Was
A
that
little.
why you were off?
It comes out.
No, don't we, Olivia? He
And
doesn't have to wait.
was I mad? I thought I was brilliant too. That was the funny thing. There were like pauses trucks could go through, and all the time these pauses between lines came in. I was thinking, oh, this is stunning. This is the best performance anyone. It's really funny.
Olivia, your turn, my dear.
Yeah.
My best performance.
Heck.
I'm gonna answer it for
okay.
you if you don't.
Oh, what do
This
you think?
movie is your best performance.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Would
She's
you have
great in
said
this movie.
that?
No, well, it depends if you're talking about singing or acting. I would think acting. I think I
You did two of
did
them.
my best
Shaking
in
You
this.
is your best singing performance, and that's in the soundtrack, and your best
Yeah.
acting performance.
Yeah, actually, this movie has been like
For her, it's
growth
been-
for me, musically and acting-wise. But also I have one favourite moment in my career where I went back to Australia to sing for the Queen at the Sydney Opera House. And I sang Don't Cry For Me Argentina with like a 120-piece orchestra live.
I didn't know that.
You haven't seen that? I've got to show you this on
Oh,
tape.
you gotta show me
And I
that.
got such an incredible feeling from it that I was really moved because I was really singing about Australia. Well, the fact that it was called Argentina didn't matter, but it was just a great moment. It was in my hometown for the Queen with my
wow.
family and all. That was a high.
That's pretty great.
Olivia, do you know I'm getting chills just thinking about that?
That was
Truly,
great.
that's
But
lovely.
the
That is
problem
lovely.
was when you tried to outdress her, didn't you wear a tiara?
Yeah.
All right, Olivia, my worst performance.
Oh, heavens. I've probably had a lot of those. Early days would be early days. I think one of my funniest worst performances was with my partner, singing partner, who is now my partner in my boutique, but we used to sing together, and the first night we were on stage together, she was a dancer and I was pretty nervous on stage. I stood completely still and she danced around me, and by the end of the second song our microphone cords were completely twisted up and I could not move because she was like, hey, all around the place, and I was static. It was hysterical. It was probably one of the worst shows we've
Probably
ever
one of the
done.
funniest.
It was funny.
That's funny.
I'm sure there's worse, but I can't think right now.
John, if I could make a movie with anyone, I would choose.
Changes all the time. Changes every day. Let's see. So many people I want to work with. Who have I talked about? Oh, well, I talked about my
Oh,
friends,
yeah,
Gerard
Gerard.
Depardieu, Brian
Dustin.
Brown, Dustin, Jane Fonda, directors. Of course, I want to work with Jim. I'm going to work with Jim Bridges next, the guy who directed Urban Cowboy. He's going to be next. Sting from the Police invited me up to perform with him on stage. That would have been a history-making kind of thing, fun thing. Oh God, I could answer that all day. There's so many
Yeah,
people that
so
inspire
many
me that
talented people.
I want to work with. I mean, it's amazing.
Before I die, I want to.
You know, this is going to be an odd answer, but I've always felt that for my years, I've led a full life, and that I've experienced highs and lows that most people don't experience in a lifetime. So my kinds of things would never be connected to that serious a question. In other words, like, I don't ever think, oh, before I die, I want to do this or that. I mean, a few years ago, I think I did. Do you know what I mean? I think I did. I want to fly a jet plane. I want to, own a house. I want to, I think that. But I think I've done so many of those things. I mean, maybe have a child might be, a nice continuation of the race kind of thing. But other than that, which is a more obvious one, I would never put myself in that disparate a situation because I feel like, I don't know, I'm just living life in a...
I think, if I can answer for both of us, this is icing on the cake. If we, God forbid, but if something happened to us next week, we could say, don't feel sorry, we had a wonderful life.
Don't cry
no
for
regrets,
us.
don't cry for us, because there's nothing that I didn't do that I regret or that I wanted to. Fair enough?
Yeah, I think it's rather nice.
Olivia, I am happiest when.
Goodness. I'm happy most of the time, but I'm happiest probably when I'm singing or acting, performing, working. But I'm also, then on the other extreme, I'm the happiest when I'm alone with my animals on outdoors or, with people I care about, with my friends, family, boyfriend, out and nothing. So there's two extremes. I'm happy in both situations.
John, I'm happiest when.
It's a toss-up between taking off in a jet and being on the set of a movie, because I love both those situations, where I'm in the middle of a scene that I love, that I really love acting in, where I feel every part of my body is into that scene, or when like on the edge of a runway, when every part of my body is into the throttle of the jet, both those are extraordinary to me, highs, I love the feelings of romance and love and of course the obvious things, food and sex and all that kind of stuff, but I'm talking about a more esoteric or spiritual high. I mean, those are things my body needs,
All right.
the other, but the aesthetic needs are what I think that you're getting at,
One last question for each of you. John, we're probably on a close-up of you, so I'll just go ahead and ask you. If you, the holidays, Christmas, if you could have any gift in the world, some tangible thing, you know, we all want peace and love and brotherhood, but some tangible thing, if you could have anything in the world and money were no object, what would you most like to have?
Oh, really? Well, my latest kick has been, now I'm probably going too deep, but money's no object?
Money's no object.
And anything I can have? Oh, I'd put a lot of money into the space program, and I'd get us out in space and get us where we can go to other planets, and I'd make real nuclear, nuclear shelters on the Earth that are legitimate and not outdated like the ones 20 years ago. I'd put a lot of money into legitimate shelters that people on Earth could be in, and I'd put legitimate money into space programs, because that's where I think we have to go. Simultaneously, you know, discussing the lessening the nuclear arms, I think we have to think of the new frontier. Also, money into neutralizing nuclear weapons. Like, in other words, like, what could we, if we created this horror, why can't we destroy the horror? Meaning, find some sort of missile or chemical that neutralizes that. You know, let's put money into that, into shelters, into space, and like really create options. That's what I would do.
Okay.
I may end up getting votes for being president.
Olivia, if you could have anything, money no object, you know, something that you could hold in your hands or touch, what would it be?
There's really nothing that I'm very lucky to be able to say there's nothing I really, really want that I don't have. I mean, I have all my monetary needs, I have a lovely home, all those things. My same wish would be peace in the world, really, and maybe I'd get the world leaders together and give them a course in psychiatry. I don't know, tell them what on earth are you doing to us? I mean, we're in such danger and we all should be living together happily. If there's some way that I could make everybody see the light, educate people.
You'll hook up with me and we'll do this program that I'm talking about.
Okay.
We'll go around campaigning around the country.
Campaigning for peace and for people to see that we all can live together and there's no need to dump millions and millions of tons of food into the ocean when there are people starving in other countries, that there must be a way of making it all work and get rid of the greed that everyone seems to have. And everyone can live in peace. It just seems like unbelievable to me that it can't be worked out. So that's what I'd like to help.
Well,
We make a great team.
you
don't
are.
we?
Hey, listen, you two are so neat. And I can't wait to see the movie. I really
good.
can't wait. And again, and Mr. Cameraman, if you'll pull out to a 3-shot, please. I just can't thank you enough for taking your time to do this for all of us. And we'll all run out and see Two of a Kind just because you've been so sweet.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
That was the neatest interview. You know, I generally hate doing two people at the same time, but
Oh,
you
really?
two people work together so beautifully. Such love and respect and admiration for one another. It's lovely.
Thank you.
That was
thank
great.
you.
That was just great. Okay. Yes, thank you for, I was going to ask you to do that. John is looking at Olivia, and Olivia is looking at me and just chatting, but we're on a close-up of John. And so John is listening.
What would you wish for?
And then John is going to smile a little bit. And can John laugh on cue? I bet he can. I would wish for a French Impressionist painting, and I don't have a particular one, but just, you know, I could be happy with any one of several hundred. But that, you know, a tangible thing, I would, because that's totally beyond my capabilities as far as, you know, financial capabilities. Okay, now Olivia's going to do the same thing. She's going to look at John, and John, you can talk about anything.
What kind of price tags are for French Impressionists?
Oh my goodness, up in the millions now. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. They're just going several. You could 3, 4, 5, 7 million.
What?
Yeah. And sure, yeah, yeah. Okay. And just tell me when.
Job and Olivia.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Thank you. We're speeding now. Bobbie, you can react.
All right, and then we'll look at Olivia. Same thing. Okay. Okay. Now, would it be possible to kind of split the difference and make it work for either one? I've done that before, so I'll look at your shoulder, and that'll split the difference, and we won't have to do these. Okay. Why did you want to do a non-musical? John, have any of those things you turned down been worked into projects for other people? What were some of the projects you considered? Okay. Now, we're going to play a little game. Fill in the blank, it's called. Okay. The best thing about being famous is... The worst thing about being famous. The biggest high of my career has been the lowest moment of my career. My best performance has been and my worst performance. If I could work with anyone, I would choose before I die, I want to I'm happiest when if I could have anything in the world and money were no object, okay, I think that'll do it. Thank you.